Hi, I'm Brittany Foster, auditioning for the role of Zoe, or Mia Zapata. Sad story. By the way, I grew up in Seattle, and friends are all musicians, and anyways, yeah, kind of touched me. So, also, I was told maybe do a monologue, but to be honest, I hate monologues, especially because I don't really think there's any such thing as a funny monologue unless you do stand-up, and I really hate stand-up. Because, I don't know, I think it takes the bravest person in the world to do it, and I'm not one of those people. So instead I thought I'd tell you a story. It's kind of a cool story from when I was 10, and not many people hear it, so I'm pretty lucky. When I was 10 years old, I was with my brother and my family in Idaho Falls, Pocatello, specifically at my aunt's house. We were sledding, and I'd never gone sledding before. And being a younger sister, I wanted to copy everything that my brother did and be really cool like him, and he was a hero to me. So I went sledding head first, and of course I had to be like him, so then I wanted to try it head first, and really, really steep hill up in the mountains, covered in snow. I think it was December 30th, and the first time I went down, my hat and my gloves came off, and so the next time around, my dad and my cousin drove this big red truck. They drove down first. They could pick up my gloves and hat, and then when we slid all the way down, they could just drive us back up, so we could just, take more runs, I guess. And my brother saw the truck. He went first, head first, but he saw it, and he like whooshed off of his sled like a Ninja Turtle, because he's Raphael, in case you ever meet him. He's got the red thing. And so he flew off, and then I was too scared. I remember I saw him out of the corner of my eye saying, "Brittany, get off, get off, get off," and I just couldn't do it. I just kind of froze, and I looked ahead of me, and that was it. And then tonight, everything went black. Everything. It was dark for a little bit, and then this part's really weird. Part of it got gray and really murky, and I could see myself. I could see myself under the truck with I remember my glasses had fallen off, and I think I looked and I was like, "Oh no, they're broken," even though I was I was wearing a pink coat. And I don't know how I saw my face, but I saw my face. And then I think it was the left, I could see this, like if I turned, whatever I was at the time, if I turned to my left, I could see this gray, murky tunnel. And I wasn't afraid. I remember thinking, that's God. And I'm okay. I'm gonna go to God, and it's gonna be great. And then I turned to my right, and I could see my dad outside of the car, outside the truck with my brother and my cousin, and he was crying and cursing and screaming and saying, "God, don't let my daughter go, don't let my daughter go, bring her back, bring her back." So I started I had this, I don't know, I was at peace, but at the same time I said, "God, my family will die if I go. They won't survive this, I just know it." And then in my heart, I said, the truth is that I'm not ready. I haven't gotten married yet, I haven't had babies yet, I haven't gone to Europe yet, I haven't had gelato yet, I haven't even seen NSYNC in concert yet, and I just thought, God, I'm not ready, but I was too scared to say it, so I blamed it on my parents not being ready. And then I heard and saw my dad praying, and I saw my face on the car, and then I opened my eyes, and I was in his arms, and I looked up to him, and I never want to see his face like that again. I won't tell you that, but I just remember thinking, I'm okay, that was the death experience. Now it's all up here from here, nobody has to worry, but I couldn't speak. I wasn't able to talk, and that was really hard. But anyways, sorry, so rambling. Dad carried me in his arms and he held me and sat in the passenger seat of the truck. My cousin drove, and I remember my dad telling my brother, "You have to walk up the hill and tell the family what's happened." So, we drove past the first hospital, and I remember my dad freaking out, saying, "Look, there's a hospital right there." And Luke was like, "No, I don't know that one very well. We're going to the next one." So they drove past the first hospital. Meanwhile, I'm bloody and like trying to fall asleep. Nobody will let me fall asleep, but apparently that's a bad thing if you're, whatever. So we drove to the second hospital, and we walk inside, and the entire neurological staff of the hospital is in the doorway filing out paperwork for the new year. And Dad's holding me and bringing me in his arms, and there's the part I don't remember, like that space between them, but the next thing I remember, I'm lying on this stretcher bed, and they're bringing me down this hallway, and they make me turn left, and I can see my mom and my brother, and she doesn't see me yet, and they're sitting on the floor next to the room that they're gonna put me in. And my brother's face, it's like and my mom's just in shock. And then they bring me into the room, and they start asking me all these questions, like, what's your name, where do you live, who's the president, or what's some math equation. And I was really good at math at the time, so I tried to answer, and nothing would come out. And it was just like, and I couldn't answer anything clearly. And then I started crying. That was the first time I was really afraid. Because I tried to tell my parents that I love them, but they couldn't understand me, but my dad knew. He said, "I know, baby, it's okay, I love you. I love you too." And then I started crying. And then the doctor, they said they had to shave my head before going into surgery. But they put me under anesthesia first. And they said, count backwards from 10, or from 100. And being a little cocky girl, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to beat this test. I'm going to go all the way back to 0 before I fall asleep." But of course I got to like 91, and then I was out. There's something else I remember that's really weird. I don't know if there was a window opening to where my dad and my mom were signing paperwork to check off that I might die during the procedure. And they said had a 50-50 chance of coming out. But I remember looking over the counter and seeing my dad and my mom sign this paperwork, and I wasn't there. And it's just all these weird memories of things that happened. And I've asked people later, did this actually happen? They're like, "Yeah, buddy, that's exactly how it happened." And but I wasn't there. It's like I was still in some other place, The surgery lasted for 6 hours. And I came out, and I still have 7 titanium plates on my head. And I had 32 these massive staples going down my head. And took like 6 months to get all of them out because it hurt so bad. And I celebrated every year on December 30th, the day that I died, the day I came back. And I still forget sometimes. I take that for granted or just get anxious about the stupidest things. And I'm not myself, and I'm constantly worried about my weight and wondering how in the world does anybody have a flat stomach? Do you not eat ever? Because it's just not possible for me. Or worrying about, my career or boys or what people think of me. It's not worth it. I don't know. I've never actually shared that whole thing with anybody. It's weird that I'm doing it now. But well, there you go. So I guess even if I don't get this part, I hope you heard the whole thing and got to know that, I don't know, just a piece of me that I really believe, I know that I talked to God in that moment, and that I'm alive, and that I am grateful, and that I love my brother, and I love my parents, and I love every day that I spend here, even when it's cold. I really hate being cold. Okay, wow, that's That's not what I meant to do. But there you go. You can go digest that with some coffee or maybe a glass of wine. And yeah, thanks for your time. Okay, bye.